Hey guys, it's Savannah for KelownaNow, and I'm here with 3 members of the Proud Sons from Winnipeg. How are you guys?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Okanagan. You were here not long ago playing at Fernando's or Doc's, one of the bars.
Fernando's, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the Mexican place?
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yeah. That's how
but-
we remember is food, pretty much. What
Yeah,
we eat
oh
there
my
is
god,
how we
it's so
remember
good.
things.
And you
Yeah.
guys are here because you're touring with Tea Party.
Yeah.
How has that been?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
That's awesome. How did it all come to be? Because they're like one of Canada's most like legendary rock bands, right? So
Yeah. So we got the opportunity to open for them in Winnipeg about 2 years ago.
nice.
They were on like a 20-year tour of the Transmission album. And I guess we did some like maybe Instagram thing or interview where like they asked us like what some of our favorite shows were. And one of them was that show. And then I guess the band just commented being like, let's tour together.
No way.
And then I guess, yeah, a year and a half later, here we are.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So are you guys fans of theirs to begin with?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we all grew up in that era, like listening to that music. Like I used to go out to the lake and put the CD in my Discman and get through 4 songs and the batteries would die. But yeah, it was like, I remember like 20, 25 years ago being young listening to that record a lot, so.
That's really cool. So obviously the opportunity was exciting. What do you guys remember your feelings being like initially finding out you get to, one, open for them and then go on a 40-date tour with them?
It was like super exciting from like a fan perspective. Obviously, getting to see a band that you like play every night is a lot better than going on the road with a band that you don't really like.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because it seems like every night I'm liking them even more and more than I did before, which is pretty funny, right? But you think you'd almost get sick of it, but it's not the case.
No.
But then as far as like a professional aspect, to be a relatively new band and get a 40-date, Canadian U.S. tour is pretty unheard of. So
Yeah.
we were pretty stoked on that.
That's awesome. And your families were probably stoked, I
Oh,
can
yeah.
assume?
Oh, yeah.
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 That's awesome. You guys are kind of different from the Tea Party musically. I mean, obviously you have your rock undertones and your influences. So what is it like for you guys to be able to be with a band that kind of helped influence you? And why do you think it's important to bring those influences out in your music today?
Like, I think a lot of the Tea Party fans, right, they've been listening to that band for 25, 30 years, so they kind of come from the same like music heritage that like we kind of grew up listening to, the 60s and 70s music and whatnot. So I feel there's a connection there, like even though we maybe don't sound as hard rock as they do, I think it kind of works, it translates, because I guess a lot of people are like Rolling Stones fans and Black Crowes, and we've gotten that correlation between our music. But yeah, it's been pretty inspiring to be able to have people that are there wearing like Tea Party shirts, and you're like, oh, like they're going to be hard rock fans, and they come up to us after and they're like, wow, like, we're not the biggest country rock music fans, but we love you guys. And so yeah, it's been sweet.
Yeah, and today rock isn't necessarily at the forefront musically, so why do you think it's important to still kind of push those roots in your music?
I just don't know if we could be doing anything else besides just doing what we like. What type of music we play is kind of just this like cohesiveness of like all of our creativity put together. It's not even like a plan. It's like,
Natural effort.
we'd all
Yeah.
been in different bands and doing things that were like, what we were listening to at the time, or what we thought was like going to be the genre of music that, like is popular. But this has just been super organic, and yeah, I don't know if really we could be capable of switching genres at all at this point. Like,
Just keep it going, right?
yeah.
That's awesome. I wanted to touch a little bit about your guys' most recent EP that you got to put out. You got to go to Memphis to record it in a studio where Elvis and Johnny Cash got to be. What brought you guys there, and how did that opportunity come up?
It's actually the first EP. It's not the one that we were touring right now.
Oh, right.
It was one of our first recordings we ever did when we started the band back in 2013, I think we went down there.
Yeah, something like that.
We went to, we just decided, hey, our music kind of sounds old. Let's go down to, the place where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of went there with the intention of recording just a few songs live off the floor. And we kind of just, went down there, and I didn't know what to expect. They'd been there before, and you're standing there in the middle of the night because there's tours during the day. So you're recording at night, and there's like an X on the ground where Elvis stood. And then like you look up and there's this big mural painting that's like the same, him using the same microphone that you're singing into. So it's pretty surreal. It was pretty sweet, and that's kind of, I think, a moment in like the band's career that kind of defined which way we want to go. is kind of where like this is like we want to be like a live sounding band. We don't want to have anything we can't do on stage that we have on the recording. And yeah, it was a pretty influential part of our career, I think.
Up until that point, like all the recordings that we had done were done kind of the more modern, typical way, where you do the drums and it's only drums, and then you add the bass after, and then you add the guitars after. And when we did that recording there, is that energy that came from that live performance of all of us playing together was like you could actually hear it on the recording. So from then on in, we're not going to do it any other way. We want to capture that energy, and that live feel that we got there. So.
Yeah, I've seen so many people raving about your guys' live performances, so getting to bring that into recording is really cool. But why do you think it's so important to be able to recreate that sound and that vibe live, and why do you put so much energy and effort into coordinating a live show that portrays that?
Like, I honestly feel like for us it's kind of been the reverse. Like, we've always had a lot more energy live than the recordings we've done previously had ever dictated. So I think it's kind of at that point we're trying to just duplicate what we have on stage. And like I don't think we really have like any coordinated parts or anything really. We're just like 5 guys there for half an hour, just having as much fun as we can and just enjoying the music we're playing. And just there happens to be people there. So
I think there's an authenticity to it too when the recording sounds more live. Like you're listening to it, you can almost, especially if you'd seen us play prior, then you can kind of picture the two together, right? Almost sounds like you're listening to it again, So yeah. Keeping it real.
Yeah, that's really cool. Keeping it real is kind of something that I got right off the bat after learning about you guys and seeing on your social media. You guys are super organic and really approachable with the way that you guys interact with fans, even through Instagram. Why is that something that is important to you?
Like at this stage in our career, like we're a very young new band, and like meeting every single person is really important. Like, just showing people who you are. And when you're on stage, some people probably think there's some mild rock star element to you, but realistically, we're just a bunch of guys that are just having a ton of fun, and like we'd rather just people know that about us. So every time we meet someone, it's we have a conversation with them or on social media, like we thank them for liking us or thank them for commenting as much as we can. And I feel like connecting to those people at this stage for us is really important.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands too will kind of try to portray themselves as bigger than they are, or like more, I don't know, fancy or special or whatever, and we can't relate to that kind of mentality. We just think we'd rather be ourselves, and I think our fans are appreciating that too. Like, like you watch the videos of us goofing around or whatever, and that's a true sense of who we are, right? We're not trying to be anybody else, and yeah, we're not gonna lie, seem like we're a bigger deal than we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking about goofing around, I have seen everything about this honey dill sauce all over your Instagram and your Facebook, and I am so confused, but I'm like also super intrigued. Can you just explain yourselves? I love it.
So in Manitoba, there's a couple things that's just very general to Manitoba, like socials, and I can get into that later. But honey dill sauce is the sauce that like you'll eat like chicken nuggets or chicken fingers with, and it's like honey, dill, and like a bit of mayo mixed in there maybe.
Yeah.
Jesse hates it. We all love it. But,
It's the worst.
yeah, it's so good. Like you put it's anything that's like meat related, you can put it on. It's super good.
And obviously it's on brand, so it's important to put it out there.
It's a hot item. Like all restaurants that are like national chains, like say like a Moxie's or like an OJ's, like they'll have honey dill in Manitoba.
Okay.
At their restaurants. It's like they know it's important. Like we're not going to get into the restaurant game if we don't serve honey dill with our chicken fingers.
Can we expect a Proud Son endorsed honey dill sauce in the future?
Well, I was going to say, like, if anybody sees this, for sure send them these. I'm not going to have any of it, but I know they would really appreciate it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We would, yeah. The label talked about it for a bit, but we don't know if I think there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done to sell food.
Just stick with music for now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, lastly, I guess, just tell me how tour's been so far. I mean, it's a pretty long leg that you guys have been on the road. You've seen a lot of places, met a lot of people. Any highlights so far?
Like, it's tough because like it's so foreign to us still. Like it's very new to be able to go to venues that have like 1,000 people in them, and to have crew help us, and to have hotel rooms and play casinos and stuff. It's like every few days we're playing this new venue that's like this. It's like a completely different thing for us. So it's like it's hard to explain if there's been like highlights, because I think honestly the last 2 months has been just this blur.
Yeah, and the whole thing's kind of been a blast. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
to
like
try to like pick out certain aspects is pretty tough at this
Right.
point.
Yeah.
we got 8 or 9 shows left, and it's like it's sad.
Yeah.
Like the further we go west, it's like, oh, we're getting closer to the last show, and
Yeah.
it's because we got home for 4 days, and it was like, all right, we're home, showered, did laundry, like ready to go back out.
Yeah. You guys got to play in Winnipeg already, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Right, we've always been saying, oh, we're the Proud Sons from Winnipeg, Manitoba every show, so it's nice. Like that first show back, it was like show 24, 25. And we're like, we're from here. It was nice. Like it was surprising to be able to do that. So it's like I didn't think, because we haven't played too many shows in a row without playing Winnipeg. It's always like we play a few shows on a tour that Winnipeg's in the middle of. So yeah, it was very nice to be home.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming in, you guys.
you very
Kelowna's
much.
super stoked to have you back in the city, and everyone, I'm sure, is excited to see you guys open up for a tea party tonight.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.